guys, we're back talking some more Season 2 of Chucky on the channel, Episode 4. Among the episodes so far this season, I think last week was the most insane, not just due to the fact that we had a new Chucky, but it was the Chucky himself, this roided up Super Hulk Chucky. Unfortunately, we don't follow up with that this week, which honestly I was kind of nervous about because this is a Jennifer Tilly-centric episode. We don't get a whole lot of Chucky here, but we do open and close the episode with some pretty great Chucky segments along the way. I thought it was pretty hilarious how we framed this as a Chucky-style talk show where he talks to the audience and he even has the Tiffany doll on the side, and he is introducing the episode. It is the Death on Denial, the Jennifer Tilly mystery, and we cut back to where we left off Jennifer Tilly's story as Glenn and Glenda did appear at her house, surprising her as she just killed the detective and is trying to hide that from them. Even as someone who's never been super high on the film Seed of Chucky, I've liked it a lot more as the years progress, but I'm still not a big fan of it. It is kind of crazy to think that it's been almost 20 years since that film has come out, and we've not really addressed all that much the characters of Glenn and Glenda. The last time we ever even saw them was at the end of Seed of Chucky. We've heard about them in passing as the years progressed, but we never actually saw them, so I was glad to finally get to see them both on the screen again, and I do like their portrayal here. Lachlan Watson is portraying both Glenn and Glenda here, and I think they do a great job differentiating the two. You can definitely tell that they are both completely different personalities. While we're getting up to speed with them and their lives since Seed of Chucky and that carrying over into celebrating their birthday, it was also kind of funny to me in passing they mentioned that they both date the same person. It threw me for a loop when we're talking with Glenn and Glenda a bit more about their past lives, the stuff that involved them in Seed of Chucky, is it seems like they don't remember anything about Seed of Chucky. I mean, they have vague memories that they consider nightmares, like Glenda reminisces about how she remembers killing Joan from Seed of Chucky and some man goading her into doing more, but they don't remember anything. I get that they were supposed to be kids, but I figure they remember things a little bit more, or maybe those memories are just repressed in a way. That does play interestingly into everything involving Tiffany, because as far as everyone knows, including these kids apparently, she's always been Jennifer Tilly. We just don't know who Tiffany Valentine is. So Tiffany Valentine, at least to the eyes of Glenn and Glenda, didn't exist at all. What was most fun though about this murder mystery and the elements inside Jennifer Tilly's house is the cast that they assembled for this. You have Joe Pantoliano, you have Meg Tilly, Jennifer's younger sister, who did such a fantastic job in this. I wish Meg Tilly did more stuff because this showcased that she still got it. I mean, I love Psycho 2 and The Big Chill. She's a great actress in her own right if you've never checked out Meg Tilly's work for some reason. And I think my favorite guest of them all is Gina Gershon. We've had so many references to Gina Gershon and Bound, and we finally get to see them both on the screen together in the Chucky franchise, mind you. That was the best part of this for me among all the different guests, and the sexual tension that they have throughout the episode too, which made it even more funny because Jennifer Tilly, you know, it's Tiffany Valentine. She's not actually Jennifer Tilly, so she's just kind of awkwardly going along with the sexual nature of all these characters. Joe Pantoliano also apparently likes Jennifer Tilly a whole lot. All these different actors have no qualms with making fun of themselves and their past in this, and I think that's what makes this so much more enjoyable. However, someone that is not enjoying all of this is poor Nika. I feel bad for her every single episode, but this one especially. She's still locked away and gagged in the other room as the party's going on. We even have someone standing out in front of her room to make sure nobody goes in there, but that doesn't really last all that long because we gotta get the murder mystery rolling, because that guy, Jeeves, mysteriously just dies because somebody spiked the champagne, and that kicks off the murder mystery of who among these people actually killed this man. Kind of just ignoring the other person that Jennifer Tilly killed not that long ago, this guy is a little bit more important here, at least in the context of having all these different witnesses in the room with them. Even despite this entire episode predominantly being focused in one central location in Jennifer Tilly's house, they are still able to manage to get some pretty fun, spooky scares as the power does go out and Jennifer Tilly has to search all these rooms in the darkness. Jennifer Tilly's always great, but this episode, I think she does get a bigger moment to shine here since she is pretty much the main character. And not just that, as the episode progresses, she is just in shambles. We start off with her hiding things from Glenn and Glenda, the detective being murdered in the other room, but it continues to get worse and worse. So she's trying her best to keep up this facade that she's Jennifer Tilly despite not seeing these people for such long periods of time. Then you throw on another murder into the equation, and the fact that Nika is potentially trying to escape. We can't find her anywhere. Someone's assisting her and trying to help her escape. I get they wanted to play it a little bit as a surprise that someone among these guests is trying to help Nika, but it really wasn't all that surprising that the person that was helping Nika is Glenn, because Glenn, of the two of them, Glenn and Glenda, Glenn was the nice one. Glenda was the one that was killing everybody between the two personalities. Thankfully, after this, we get an explanation flashback for why exactly Glenn is helping out Nika, because we find out a couple months ago when Glenn and Glenda went to hang out with Tiffany, they actually did see her bound and locked away in her room and speak to her a little bit, and kind of showcases that Tiffany has kind of been lying to them their entire lives. Between the Jennifer Tilly stuff and the fact that they think this whole time that their dad left, you have Chucky now taking over as Nika, kind of telling the truth, but kind of not, bending it, blaming Tiffany for everything, saying that he did want to stay, but Tiffany drove them away, which, you know, kind of true, kind of false, because we're kind of leaving out important details. Chucky wanting to stay a doll, Tiffany didn't want to stay a doll and was trying to leave Chucky, so Chucky wanted to just murder them all. So yeah, kind of true, kind of false. Regardless, it leads to them having an elaborate plan to get Nika out of there and find out the truth about Tiffany Valentine. This climax, though, this is where things get really wild when Joe Pantoliano is killed, which I was not anticipating him getting murdered at all, but that does trigger Nika's change back into Chucky, and Glenda is working with Chucky, and we even see them pull out prosthetic arms for Nika now to use as Chucky. It even has a gun attachment to it, which to me kind of signified the answer that we've all been wondering, is how exactly Nika got the severed doll head of Tiffany into Tiffany's bed. It ends up being she had prosthetic arms somewhere laying around. This entire little showdown here was pretty awesome, but it also has some interesting stuff to go forward for the rest of season 2, because Nika actually escapes, but it's the person that is driving the getaway car. It is Kyle. Kyle survived. I think we all knew that Kyle survived the end of season 1, but she is the one driving here. She's working with Glenn and Glenda, so now we got our little squad here to try and get down to the nitty-gritty as far as the truth behind Tiffany Valentine. So that's going to be very exciting going forward, how that's going to play out for the rest of the season, also figuring out where exactly Andy is. We'll see. We still got many episodes to go. We're only halfway through season 2. All that does conclude the actual plot to episode 4. We get one last little great clip here with Chucky, which is probably one of my favorite parts of the entire episode, because he brings out a special guest for the recap, and it's WWE wrestler Liv Morgan, who is one of my favorite WWE wrestlers right now. She's also a massive fan of horror, so it was great to see her make this appearance here, and she was pretty awesome. I love the banter between her and Chucky as we find out everything that happened in the murder mystery. Jeeves was killed by Glenda. We even find out that Gina Gershon was the one that killed Joe Pantoliano because of how much she loved Jennifer Tilly, which was kind of odd. I didn't expect that to happen. And even though we had to end it this way, it was pretty interesting and also fun to see Liv Morgan get taken out by Chucky. We know that she's a massive horror fan. This is the way that she wants to go out, but it's kind of surreal thinking that we end the episode with Chucky killing Liv Morgan, and what maybe the repercussions for the WWE might that be, that Liv Morgan is just killed by Chucky, because Chucky's been in wrestling before, if you haven't known that by now. But yeah, overall, pretty great episode. It's definitely a little bit different compared to the rest because it is very much a Jennifer Tilly-centric episode. There's only Chucky in the beginning and end. We set up some interesting stuff going forward for the rest of season 2. So make sure you share your thoughts down below. What'd you think of episode 4 of season 2 of Chucky? Did you like this murder mystery centered around Jennifer Tilly? Did you not like the episode? And how you feel about the big reveals here, that Kyle is alive, Nika is safe for now, working with Glenn and Glenda. How did you feel about Glenn and Glenda also appearing? Because they've been long gone now, almost 20 years. Either way, share all your thoughts down below and any thoughts or theories you may have, because part of the fun is having a conversation with you guys in the comment section down below. Thank you guys, as always, for checking out the reviews. I always do appreciate it. Make sure you like on the video and also subscribe to the channel so I always update reviews, reactions, unboxings, and more. The next time, I'll see you guys later.